playing today?
All right. Anyway, in the left position of Metropolis, and they have spawned cross positions not close by air in this particular instance, we have the first of our two Zerg players. He is blue, and his name is LLLDaBoO. And in the middle right position, we have our other Zerg player. He is in the purple, and his name is MythRazor GS.
MythRazor, a name that I feel confident saying. That I'm not saying muffin top.
Yes. Hopefully MythRazor does not mean something else in Dutch. We're just shouting obscenities, but that would be absolutely terrible. But
it would be horrible because I learned when I was trying to learn all the whole Danish and Swedish and all that stuff, right? Slutspurt means like the end or the final, but it's still Slutspurt, and you can't not hear that when they say it. It's just one of those things, so I'm hoping that there's nothing too in common there. Guys, we're looks like we're going to actually be playing a real ZVZ. It's team supply for both these players, and nothing funky has been thrown down as of yet. So expansion first for everybody.
Yep, but I mean, don't go ahead and knock out early aggression here quite yet. I mean, it's certainly possible to drop that hatchery and use it for mostly production. Just make a ton of speedlings and just be a massive jerk to your opponent and just constantly throw speedlings at them with just absurd production. But like I said, I mean, they could be both going for longer term strategies, and if we can see some layer on layer action here and maybe even getting to hive, that would be certainly fun, especially to see on this map.
Absolutely, we're going to be looking at the gas timings here, pool after hatch for both these guys, so everything's standard so far. It really comes down to when the pool goes down. There it is, going down for Myth, looking if DaBoO's going to get it immediately. If he's doing this weird strategy where if you talk right when you know somebody needs to put down their geyser and you delay it for 5 seconds, you've got 5 more seconds of speedlings. It's the new metagame.
Indeed. And yeah, looks like both players right now just kind of doing the exact same thing, and we're going to have to wait a little bit to see what the deviation is. And basically, one way you can check that is to see who pulls out of gas and who does not after getting enough for that initial speed. I would expect to see them both chill in there, but if one of them pulls out, that could be a lot of speedlings or a third base on the way. So
it's true.
What they do with that gas.
I expect both these guys to keep at least 2 drones in the gas geyser at this point, just because of the timing, because of the map, and because of the expansion first. Really crisp drone transfer coming out of DaBoO. MythRazor just getting ready to go ahead and pump everything out there. DaBoO actually going to be the first person to go ahead and make some lings as well. As soon as we get to 100, I expect that speed to come down immediately, and it does. Well timed out of MythRazor.
Indeed, and the first 100 gas now down for DaBoO, and he will drop the speed as well. So both players, I mean, not a whole lot of room for deviation quite yet. And yeah, I'd rather see if one adds on a second gas or drops a Baneling Nest or something like that. Would not be surprised to see a Baneling Nest from either player, even if they have scouted. It's just having a Baneling Nest just defensively is just so useful, and in case that big speedling timing does come, you need to be prepared for everything. And the lings for DaBoO will be running in, trying to get a little scout on, but the Queen is there to make them try at least shoo them away a little bit. Does not quite get either of them. It looks like he will be able to bother a drone. Will he get one drone? Will he get the drone? He does get a drone, so
well done.
Nice efficient little trade there. 2 lings for a drone, not bad, but did not really get in the main and get a whole lot of a scout off. But with overlords and such in this matchup, it's not as big of a deal to not get into that base. And anyway, there's not a whole lot to discover, but both players dropping down a Baneling Nest, a Baneling Nest and a Spinecrawler as well for MythRazor. And yeah, both players just playing this very, very similarly still going forward.
Well, you can see why he's getting that Spinecrawler, because he just did a round of 10 drones. Does look like DaBoO's going to get ahead, unless we're being trolled. LLL actually stands for Lowland Lions.
Okay.
So a little bit of a clan chat out there.
There we go. My knowledge of the Dutch scene has let me down once again. Clearly I need to watch more Dutch Starcraft, or else I will fall behind.
Well, that's what we're
knowledge.
trying to do, thanks to the DSCL.
The Dutch metagame could be completely different from what I'm used to, and we could just be not prepared for anything at all here.
Well, you can pretty much tell from so far, ZVZ at least is not. It's the same no matter what language you speak, because it looks the same in every single league. You try and build a little bit of a wall off, you try and not die, and speaking of not dying, DaBoO appears to be really ready to go ahead and force this issue. He's got lots of Banelings morphing in, 6 Banelings morphing in.
Trying to form a bit of a wall as MythRazor, actually. A Queen there to try and block as well, and he saw this all the Overlord, so he knows this is coming. Dropping down a Roach Warren, but it's a matter of how much damage can be done before he's able to actually defend here. And the Banelings run into the Banelingness of the opponent. Not really the best spent Banelings in the world, and not even, I believe, even get this Queen with the Banelings, but the Zerglings will get in the main, and that is not good news for MythRazor. And this is a lot of drones and Queens going down here.
Not good news at all. The Queen goes down immediately. The reinforcements are here and we'll be able to clean this up, but the injects, the lack of them hurts. The lack of the mining time hurts. If we go to the units, or apologize, the units lost tab, that's right, we see DaBoO is actually just a little bit behind. However, the income and everything else should equal out a little bit. Nice Baneling movement coming out of DaBoO, who's just forcing as much lack of mining time as possible. Still no Queen built to go ahead and replace the one that was sniped, sir. And two Banelings trying to get into the natural where all the drones are, but no, they are sniped.
Yep, indeed. And at the end of the day, let's take a look at the tab. And actually, only one drone has been actually... Well, during the course of that, DaBoO didn't manage to get a single drone in the course of that. He killed a lot of Zerglings, obviously, but did not do the economic damage that he really wanted to do. And MythRazor already has his lair up.
He's got his lair up. He's only behind by a couple of drones. He has a slightly larger armory at the moment. They're going to pass each other like ships in the night. DaBoO, feeling that he did not do the damage he needed to, is going to go ahead and throw down a third immediately. More Banelings are being morphed in and immediately rallied into that natural, but now there are roaches out to defend. These Banelings are not going to make it in, so however, they may take out that Evo chamber.
And MythRazor going for a cancel on the third base, and he will get it. Not even a cancel, actually. Just a straight-up denial of that base. That's 300 minerals down the drain for DaBoO, and after that somewhat failed aggression early on, he really couldn't afford that. Does get a good Baneling hit off, though, and the Zerglings for MythRazor will be forced to retreat, but he does keep that third base from going down and takes out a lot of minerals in the process. He's
feeling really good with the Roach Warren up. He does have to remake the Evo chamber at the front, but again, he is able to transition in to roaches to a higher degree than his opponent can. Now, anytime DaBoO can, however, he hasn't mined any gas from his natural gas geyser. He's still just mining off 3, and you can get full roach upgrades off of those 3 as the Banelings attempt to come in. Boy, there's non-stop action in this particular game.
Yep, and Zerglings doing what they can as well, and they will be able to sneak by that wall and basically get a better surround on the roaches than they had previously. Queen and Roach will go down, and MythRazor didn't well, he lost all his units early on on the counterattack, did cancel the third, but was not prepared for that counterattack coming from DaBoO. And, well, when you're not prepared for a counterattack in ZVZ, when anyone can attack at any time with a giant wave of units, you aren't necessarily in the best position when you don't have a defense.